Hey y'all, coming to you from international headquarters, ScottieDTV, but I was at the F100 show and I came across a 1968 F100. It's got an LS in it, but I didn't find out about that because they tried to fool you. The distributor cap, they put what fake one in there, and I looked quickly and didn't really pay that much attention to it, or I should have. And then I found out halfway through the interview that it had an LS in it. But as you'll hear in the interview, the guy that built the truck, his dad worked for GM for 30 years. He loved Ford, so it's kind of tribute to both. And so, anyways, don't hit him too hard on that. I have to. It made me change how I do things. Now I'm going to look at stuff a whole lot closer. That's for sure. But, anyways, let me get the camera turned around. We'll take a quick look at it. Dustin, that's a cool truck. Tell me a little bit about it, brother.
Thank you, sir. It's a 1968 Ford F100. My parents purchased that back in '71. They actually traded my mom's four-door '63 Ford Falcon. My dad used it for years in construction, and they gave it to me at 14, 15 years old. At that point, both my brothers and my dad, we did a lot of work to it. We redid the chassis on it, put a Camaro subframe up under it, and I drove it for years like that. After I moved off, went to school, came back home, the truck had just sat outside and almost rusted away, and it continued to sit there. Every once in a while, my dad would ask, what are you going to do with that old truck? And I kept saying, I'll get to it one day. I'll get to it one day. And he actually ended up getting really sick, needed a lung transplant, and spent a few years, or actually 2 years up at Duke when we live in Georgia. So working on the truck, I knew it needed to be done just for him.
Sure.
And so as we started working on it, he got even more sick. The truck was always something that we could have a conversation about and take our mind off of everything else that was going on. We had spent a lot of time talking about the truck. He had a lot of input on what we did with it. So I really wanted that truck to look like something he would have done back in the day as well, given all the modernization of hot rodding equipment.
If he would have had available today,
absolutely,
back then, this is what he would have done with it.
Right. And so we went back to the original candy apple red Ford paint. It always had steel wheels, as far as I can remember when he drove it. Obviously, weren't the size that's on it now, but they were white. So I thought, we're going to take it back to white steel wheels as well. Sat down, we talked about it a lot, and that's how the truck ended up.
Is it a chassis truck, or is that on a stock chassis?
No, it's a stock chassis. What we did back in the early 90s, my dad, my two brothers, myself, we cut the front forks off, and we put a 76 Camaro subframe up under it. If I'd have known the technology back in the 90s of what's available today, I definitely would have went a different route with it.
Sure. But then you'd be working on it and not driving it.
Exactly.
So, right. Yeah.
But the memories that we created working on that truck, doing the chassis, and just over the years of always working on that, that's something I'll never forget.
Did Dad get to see it done?
He did. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
So he very excited.
Yeah.
He loves seeing it, and the pictures that we would send when they were away at Duke. You could almost see, just brings a smile to him and my mom and my brothers and me.
Sure.
And
well, it's common ground for everybody.
It is.
Right? I mean, everybody appreciated that truck. They all had a little piece of it.
We did.
And, it's one of those things.
It wasn't a rush to get it done, but it kind of was.
Right.
So it was kind of one of those things where we just really had a lot of good conversations. And then, not just that, but being 14, 15, 16 years old, under the hood of that truck with both my brothers and my dad, that's things that I'll never get back either. That's memories that I'll hold on to forever. Right now I've got two little girls, and I'm passing along the hot rod mentality to them, and they love the truck as well. So to me, that's cool to see what I grew up with and memories that I was able to create with this truck, passing along to them, and that's something I hope they really continue appreciating.
For sure. What's up under the hood of it?
It's actually a LS.
LS.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I got to turn the camera off.
Yeah, that's what I
can't
figured.
Believe that.
Yep. And the reason for that is my dad retired from General Motors, and as we were growing up, we just had 350 small blocks laying around.
Sure.
So when
everybody did that.
Absolutely.
That's why they're in everything.
Yep. And they were, I won't say cheap, but cheap to build. Inexpensive.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Good quality, inexpensive. And so we put that in a 350 in it back when I was in high school, started driving it. It served me really, really well. And then when it come time to do this build, that was another conversation we had with me and my brothers and my dad, tossed around the idea of what to put in it. Got a Ford motor sitting there at the house to put in it. But it's one of those things, and it's almost more of a tribute, if you will, or just, I really wanted
Your dad had a love of Ford and Chevy.
Absolutely.
Right? He loved the Ford truck, but he'd worked for Chevy.
He worked for Chevy
So
for
what a cool way
almost
to
30
right,
years.
right?
Yeah.
To do a tribute, right?
Right.
And again, I think that he was probably the driving force behind this at some point.
Absolutely.
Right? As a kid, especially, it
Yes.
was like, hey, I got this truck. I'm gonna do all this stuff. And then he's like, when
Right.
are you gonna do all this stuff?
Absolutely.
Right?
And that was, yeah. And so, you know, the conversation was, well, what are you going to put in it? And I said, I'd probably go back off Ford. He's like, well, you know, it's always had a Chevrolet motor in it. And I'm like, and to me, that was the answer of,
Right.
put a Chevrolet motor in
Right.
it.
That's what
Just-
he was asking.
Yeah. So,
Right. Brother, what a cool truck. Thanks for giving me some time today.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. So there you go from the F100 show, a 1968 Ford F100. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. See ya! Hey y'all, make sure you subscribe to this channel and visit ScottieDTV.com for an easy way to search the hundreds of videos I have posted. Either click the link in the description or the one at the end of this video.